Hey guys, welcome back to Glam Finds, and I'm here with another fragrance review, one that I haven't heard too much about from the house of Fragrance World. It is Whiskey Intense, and it looks pretty much identical to Cocktail Intense. So what did I assume that this was a clone of? I obviously assumed that it was a clone of Old Fashioned by Kilian, just the same way as Cocktail Intense is a clone of Angel Share by Kilian. And once you smell it, you'll kind of see what they were going for. I couldn't find the notes of this online, so I reached out to Fragrance World, and I'm gonna read you the notes. The top is bourbon accord, bitter orange oil, aldehydes, mid, Divana oil, LMR, olibanum resins, LMR, and allspice. And then base is brown sugar, leather, accord, and amber extreme. Now, for a little contrast, the notes of Old Fashioned by Kilian are wheat and Divana, Immortelle and cedar, and then Tolu balsam and styrax. I only smelled Old Fashioned once, and it was when I was in Las Vegas for Glamcation. My buddy Rico picked up a bottle when we were there. I thought the fragrance was really nice. Now I can't compare it because I don't have it with me right now, but I can tell you what this smells like, and I can tell you when it dries down. In the opening, I think there are more similarities based on what I remember. But in the dry down, I actually feel like it is pretty different, specifically on my skin. So this is a 24-hour dry down on strip. I'm gonna tell you a little bit on strip what I'm gonna smell, and then I'm gonna tell you how it goes on my skin. Sweet. It's got like a muskiness to it, and like a kind of a floral nuance, like absolutely a floral nuance. But on top of that, what's wrapping all of that up is the cedar. It's like super woody. In the dry down, you're gonna get the spices, probably amber extreme, and then this woodiness, which I would actually equate to the cedar that you'd find in Old Fashioned. But on my skin, in the dry down, you're just gonna get what I can only equate to the scent of an oak barrel. That is what it dries down. And I was like, you know what, maybe it's my nose. So I asked people around me, and they're like, that's pretty woody. That's as woody as it gets. And I'm like, would you compare it to an oak barrel? And they're like, actually, yeah, I would definitely compare it to an oak barrel. So I don't know why it dries down like that on me. And I don't know what it will dry down like on other people. But when it opens, it is pretty boozy. I think it's actually, that's when it's the most boozy. And I think to me, that's when it's the closest to Old Fashioned. It's slightly medicinal boozy, but not too medicinal. Let's actually do a fresh spray because I don't want to go off of memory. Good sprayer. I really like Cocktail Intense, by the way. I don't know it, but my buddy was wearing it one day, and he cuts my hair, and I smelled it, and I was like, dude, you smell great. He's like, it's Cocktail Intense, and I was like, that's really good. Yeah, boozy, slightly medicinal. The bitter orange is very present in the opening, but I don't smell it in the dry down. It just kind of fades right off. The spices are there, the brown sugar is there, all of those notes are there, and you're like top, front, center, booziness. You're still gonna get these floral nuances, but it smells really, really good. And then once it dries down, specifically on skin, again, like I just get this like really interesting oak barrel. And do I like it? Yes. I actually really like the smell of that. And I really like a woody fragrance anyway. And it does have a little bit of sweetness. It's pretty smooth, to be completely honest, specifically in the dry down. Sweeter in the opening. Slightly medicinal though. Just, I you know, want to be very straightforward about it. And I think that it kind of carries this on for the first like hour-ish as it fades into the dry down. And then once it dries down, it goes into that like super oak barrel-y with some floral nuances, at least on my skin. And even on strip, I would say the floral nuances are present. It has more like of the floral nuances and sweetness on paper than it does on my skin. For some reason, it's giving like super oaky. Now, in terms of performance, I have to call this average because I wasn't getting above average. I'm getting like longevity-wise around the 8-hour mark. But the last couple of hours on me, it's been a skin scent. Projection is going to be almost an arm's length, but more like 1 to 2 feet, I should say, for the first hour to hour and a half, but it sits closer after that. Like, this is one that like will not really get you noticed. It's got to be one that someone is in your scent bubble to notice on you. And that's every single time I've worn it. So I've worn this multiple times. I wear everything multiple times in order to like really get a good wearing experience so I can come talk about it. And every single time, this one became a skin scent around, let's call it the 5 to 6 hour mark, and was never really loud. Like, again, good, like 1 to 2 feet projection for the first hour to hour and a half, and then it sits closer after that, and it's more of an intimate skin bubble or scent bubble. It was every time. I actually asked people around me because I'm like, maybe I'm going nose blind. It wasn't that. So that's the experience I had in terms of performance. Okay, sillage, not very big. I don't know if Cocktail and Scents is the same. Again, I smelled it on my barber and I could smell it on him. But then again, he's moving his hands and stuff in the air. So like, it's probably the sillage that I was smelling. Who can wear this? Honestly, I think anyone can wear it, but I do want to be very like honest about the fact that it does come off very woody on skin. So if you don't really enjoy a woody fragrance, and if you're not okay with a little bit of a medicinal vibe, which again, it's not crazy medicinal, you're gonna get the booziness, you're gonna get the orange oil, you'll get the Divana, and I mean, I think honestly the notes listed you will actually get. The brown sugar is in there. I don't really get a lot of leather, to be honest, but it's spicy. Once it dries down, for some reason, like, I mean, I wish I would get more spice in the dry down, but I really don't. I just get the oakiness with like a touch of floral nuance. And it's not super strong. So I would honestly say that this is very likely going to be for a more mature audience. Partially because it's not super sweet. Partially because I think potentially a more mature audience would like something that doesn't perform super loud because of the places that a mature audience like myself would have to be. And mature, I'm just saying probably over 30, that maybe they can't wear something that's super loud. So actually, let's just segue right into where you could wear this. This is, in my opinion, more of a fall winter fragrance. You can carry it into the spring, but I actually find it to be very appropriate for work because it was never loud. And if you need something a little more subtle for work, this works. Again, it's really oaky, and I would wear it on a date as well because you don't really, I mean, in my opinion, you don't want anything super loud on a date. I think that's kind of obnoxious. And you want the person to want to sit a little closer to you and wanting to smell your fragrance. We'll usually do that. When it's like cooler fall, winter, even spring, I would wear this day or night. It's never a bad time. Actually, in Cocktail and Scents, my barber wore it in the summer and it was daytime and I thought it smelled really good. This is kind of the same versatility, maybe not summer, but fall, winter, spring, day or evening. I think it's gonna do just fine, especially because it's not a projection beast. In terms of compliments, so actually this one didn't get me any compliments, but it is because it sat a little closer. And I think typically the things that get me compliments, the things that get most people compliments, are fragrances that project. This doesn't really do that, especially not off of my skin. So I can't really speak on compliments. I think maybe if I was in a different setting the times that I wore this, actually every single time that I wore this, I was either at home or at work. So I think that if there was a different setting, like maybe if I went out and I was in a more intimate setting with people, it would have been different. But in terms of price point, it is definitely under $35. I think it might have been around $35. Could be less now because I bought it the minute it was available on Fragrance Buy. Wherever I can find it, I'll link it down below. If you've tried this, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you actually think it's closer to Old Fashioned. Again, I don't feel like it's as close as it could be. I think it's definitely way more of a twist on Old Fashioned versus a clone of it. I don't think it's a clone of it. I think a lot of people will agree with me. This is more of a twist. Again, comment down below. Let me know what you think. As always, remember to like this video if you liked it. Be subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop another video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!